The first thing is when you're talking about racism and you say, well, that was racist, the person who is exhibiting the racist behavior and acting on their racist beliefs will typically respond with, well, that's not racist, because even though they're the one being racist, they think that they get to decide what's racist and what's not. So you see this happening with a lot of white people, point blank. When black people bring up the topic of racism or say that something is racist, a lot of white people will respond with, well, that's not racist. So imagine an abuser saying to the person that they're abusing, I'm not abusing you. Meanwhile, the person that's being abused is telling them, wait, I know what abuse is because I've been dealing with it all this time. And actually, you don't get to decide what's abuse because you're the one that's doing the abusing. It makes no sense. So white folks out there watching this, you don't get to decide what's racist for black people. We are the target. We are on the receiving end of it. We are the ones being harmed by it. We will let you know if something is racist or not. You don't get to decide for us as the beneficiary of racism.
This was wild. I mean, did she really just compare a person who disagrees with you about whether something is racist to a literal abuser? Big yikes. I wanted to talk about this, though, because there's something truly just a little bit insane about this denial proves your guilt mindset that is evidenced by this TikTok, but is actually pretty pervasive among progressive woke types. So if somebody accuses you of racism and you say, no, that wasn't racist, I disagree, I don't think I did something racist, you are, in fact, proving your own racism by denying it. But if you admit it in the first place, you are also admitting you are racist. So there's literally no option or no outcome for an accusation of racism to ever be refuted or declined. You sure that makes sense there, babe? Because we have seen a lot of accusations of racism over the years with kind of the woke culture and woke media gone mad that are pretty absurd and have no real basis in reality. So we do need a language or a process by which those accusations should always be taken seriously if somebody's accusing someone of racism, but aren't just totally accepted at face value at all times. And this victim gets to decide mentality is totally illogical and irrational. It assumes some kind of hive mind, like black people will decide or black people will know whether it's racist or not. But in any sort of gray area, you might have two different black people who disagree, who think, no, I don't find that statement racist, or yes, I do find that statement racist. So you're actually flattening black people into one hive mind collective when that's not actually the case, which I know I'm not allowed to say this because I'm white, but sounds kind of racist to me. And I can show you guys how this logic doesn't work by using myself as an example. So me being gay, right? I get to be the ultimate arbiter of what is homophobic, according to this person. And if you're a straight person, you don't get to tell me. You have to defer to whatever I say is homophobia because I've experienced the homophobia and you're straight, cishet, privileged, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so say that I have a job and I'm paid $20 an hour and my boss is heterosexual and I demand a $50 an hour wage. He says, can't afford to pay you that, sorry. And I still say, no, I'm sorry, paying me less than $50 an hour is homophobic. And he goes, no, it's not homophobic. That doesn't make any sense. And I cut him off. I go, no. You don't get to tell me what homophobia is. I'm the one who's experienced homophobia. I get to tell you, you're straight. You can't know what homophobia is. You haven't experienced it. You must defer to me. So literally whatever I say goes. Now, of course, a logical, sane person who's also gay would look at the same situation and say, no, that's not homophobic. So still, deferring to the group doesn't work because there is no actual group consensus, and also because no individual is right just because of their identity. I also reject the notion that you can't identify or perceive something correctly unless you are that thing. So while I have never experienced anti-black racism because I'm not black, I do understand what it is and what it looks like, and I think I can, with some degree of accuracy, perceive whether it's occurring or not. In the same way that I have never been a cat, but I can still identify a cat when I see a cat. Human beings, regardless of their demographic groups, are thinking beings with logic and rationality, or at least they're supposed to be. This TikToker appears to not be quite on the same page on that one. Or maybe she is, and frankly, it's just a grift. This same TikToker makes this kind of truly insane content guilting and shaming white people, and then directs them all to purchase her anti-racism education courses, because of course she does. You know, I'm of half a mind to sign up for one of these things under a fake name and like live stream it or something. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested or curious in me doing.